All right, back to number 7, a kind of wordy problem. So let's do it together and let's see how it says. Well, let's see what it says here. It says the demand curve for hot dogs. So we're looking at the demand curve for hot dogs. A shifts when the price of hot dogs changes because the price of hot dogs is measured on the vertical axis of the graph. Wow, that's a mouthful. So let's just. We do put price as a convention on the vertical axis. That part is right. All right. Q here of hot dogs. We have a demand curve for hot dogs. We have the price of hot dogs here, and we have a demand curve. D0. All right. And this says shifts when the price of hot dogs changes. Well, if the price of hot dogs changes, again, it's not going to cause a shift in the demand curve. It's going to cause a movement along the demand curve if the price falls from here to here, or it'll cause a movement along the demand curve this way if price rises from here to here. But again, it's a movement along the demand curve. It's not a shift in the entire demand curve. So that one's wrong. Go to B. The demand curve for hot dogs shifts when the price of hot dogs changes because the quantity demanded of hot dogs is measured on the horizontal axis. Now, again, yes, the quantity demanded of hot dogs is measured in the horizontal axis. That part is factually correct. But again, it doesn't cause a shift in the demand curve. Everything they've talked about so far causes a movement along the demand curve. Let's go to C. Does not shift when the price of hot dogs changes because the price of hot dogs is measured on the vertical axis of the graph. And D, let's quickly, does not shift when the price of hot dogs changes because the quantity demanded of hot dogs is measured on the horizontal axis of the graph. Okay? All right. So let's go back to C. It says does not shift when the price of hot dogs changes because the price of hot dogs is measured on the vertical axis of the graph. All right? Well, that is correct. Price of hot dogs is measured in the vertical part of the graph, and it doesn't shift. Okay? And D does not shift when the price of hot dogs changes because the quantity demanded of hot dogs is measured on the horizontal axis of the graph. Yes, well, the quantity demanded is measured here, but that's not really not going to give us the answer here. All right? Let me see. So why do I not? I like C, all right, because we're measuring price on the vertical axis here, all right? And when we change price, we're just going to move along this demand curve. We're moving because price is moving on this vertical axis here, and that's going to cause us to move our quantity demanded in either direction depending on how price moves. So your answer is C, all right? Causes the, let me see, read it once more, does not shift because the price of hot dogs changes because the price of hot dogs is measured on the vertical axis of the graph, right? And because we've measured it there, it's not going to cause a shift, it's going to cause a movement along that particular curve, all right? Okay, that does number 7. We have 3 more problems to go. So again, take a break and we'll come back for number 8.